Hello everyone, welcome to Basics e-Learning. I am going to solve CBSE NCERT textbook for class 10 with a detailed explanation for all the chapters. In this video, I am going to explain solutions and marking criteria to CBSE sample question paper for the year 2020-21. So, the students who are going to attend board examination in the year of 2021, please watch the video carefully to understand how your math paper presentation should be and also to clarify your doubts on marking scheme. This year, CBSE board released two sample question papers. One is for basic math and one more for standard math. Before getting into solving the question paper, I'll give you a quick introduction about the question paper pattern. Both sample and standard question papers are of 80 marks and 3 hours duration. But basic math has easier questions compared to standard math paper. Board examination math question paper has two parts, part A and part B. Again, in part A, you have two subsections, section 1 and section 2. Both section 1 and section 2 consists of 1 mark questions only. Section 1 has 16 1 mark questions in which you have 5 internal choice questions. So 16 into 1, you have totally here 16 marks. Coming to section 2, you will be given with 4 case studies here. So each case study has 5 questions. Each case study has 5 questions. So out of that, you need to attempt only 4 questions. So 4 fours, 16 marks here. So 16 plus 16, totally 32 1 mark questions for part 1. Part A, totally it has 32 1 mark questions. So just writing the correct option in the answer sheet is enough here to get your 1 mark. Then part B, it's a combination of 2 mark, 3 mark and 5 mark questions, long answer questions. Question number 21 to 26, there are totally 6 2 mark questions. So 6 into 2, 12 marks. Then question number 27 to 33, totally you have 7 questions, 3 mark questions, 7 threes, 21. Then 33 to 36, that is 3 questions are of 5 marks questions. Totally you will get 15 marks here. So again you have internal choice given 2 questions, internal choice for 2 markers as well as 3 markers. And for 5 markers you have 1 internal choice question. So here the remaining marks are for part B, that is, and here you have 48 marks for part B. Part A you have 32 marks and for part B it is 48 marks, totally making up 80 marks and the duration is 3 hours. In this video, I tried explaining basic sample question paper from the board 2020-21. The full question paper solutions are released in 2 parts. One part for part A and the second part I'll explain part B. Let us solve the first question. Express 156 as the product of primes. So for that we need to write the tree structure. So write it down, 156, express that as the multiple of 2 or 3. So if you take out 2, you will get here 78. Then again 2 and 39. Again 3 and 13. So now 2, 2, 3, 13. All are prime numbers. So 156 can be written as 2 square into 3 into 13. So if you write it so, you will get 1 mark. Next, second question is, write the quadratic polynomial, sum of whose zeros is 2 and the product is -8. Right. So you know this alpha plus beta is given as 2 and alpha beta is equal to -8. So we have the formula x square minus sum of the zeros into x plus the product of the zeros is the required quadratic polynomial. So just substitute x square minus 2x minus 8. So this is the polynomial, quadratic polynomial. So if you write the formula, you will get half mark, and after substitution, you will get one more half mark here. Coming to the third question, you have an internal choice here. So either you can solve this first question or the part 2 here. So given the HCF is 96, 404 is 4, and we have to find the LCM of those two numbers or write the theory question. You are asked for writing the fundamental theorem of arithmetic. So let us see how to solve this third question. So for this, we have a formula. HCF into LCM is equal to product of the numbers. Product of numbers, two numbers, right? So HCF, you know, it is given 4. LCM, we need to find out. And the two numbers, you know, 96 into 404. So now LCM is equal to 96 into 404 divided by 4. So this is 101. So you will get it 96, 96, right? So this will be the LCM of these two numbers. So for writing the formula, you will get half mark, and substituting getting the final answer, you will get another half mark here. So next, either or the internal choice, the other question here is, state the fundamental theorem of arithmetic. Just this is simple theory question. So the statement is like this: every composite number can be factorized as a product of their prime numbers, and this factorization is unique apart from the order in which the factors occurs. So this theory part you can write it. So you will get 1 mark for that. Question number 4 is, on comparing the ratios of the coefficients, find out whether the pair of equations x minus 2y is equal to 0 and 3x plus 4y minus 20 is equal to 0 is consistent or inconsistent. Right. So the condition for checking the consistency here is a1 by a2 should not be equal to b1 by b2. So on comparing the equations with the standard form here, x minus 2y is equal to 0, 3x plus 4y minus 20 is equal to 0. You need to compare with the standard form ax plus by plus c is equal to 0. That is a1x plus b1y here, and a2x plus b2y plus c2 is equal to 0 for the second one. We'll get a1 is equal to 1 and a2 is equal to 3. B1 is equal to minus 2, B2 is equal to 4, then C1 is equal to 0, C2 is equal to minus 20. So substitute here, 1 by 3 is equal to what here? Not equal to minus 2 by 4, right? Correct. So this is correct, right? So 1 by 3 is not equal to minus 2 by 4. So the given equations are consistent. So you will get half mark when you write the formula, the condition, and once you substitute and write down the final answer, for that you will get another half mark here. Question number 5. If A and B are co-prime numbers, then find HCF of A comma B. So co-prime numbers are nothing but the two consecutive integers. So let us take two numbers 2 comma 3. So their HCF is 1. Any two numbers, two consecutive integers you take, their common factor, the greatest divisible factor will be 1 only, GCD. So HCF is also equal to 1 here. So you can write it directly. You will get that 1 mark easily. Then coming to the sixth question, find the area of the sector of a circle with radius 6 centimeter if the angle of the sector is 60 degrees. So again you are given with the internal choice. So let us see the first question here. This is direct formula only. You are given with theta is equal to 60 degrees and radius is 6 centimeter, and they have told you to take pi is equal to 22 by 7. Now they are asking you to find out the area of the sector. So area of sector is formula. Directly you can write the formula theta by 360 into pi r square. Substitute. You will get theta is here 60 divided by 360 into pi is 22 by 7. 6 r is 6, no? 6 into 6 I am writing. So this is 6 times. This will get cancelled. So you will get it as 22 into 6 divided by 7. Approximately you will get it as 18.86. Unit is centimeter square because you're talking about area. So once you write down the formula, you will get half mark, and for the final answer you will get another half mark. The other question given in internal choice for the question number 6 is a horse tied to a pole with a 28-meter long rope. Find the perimeter of the field where the horse can graze. Again, this is again simple question. So perimeter is given by 2 pi r. So direct substitution of r, 28 meter here. So you will get it 28 into 2 here, 2 into 22 by 7 into 28, 4 times. So you will get 44 into 4. So 176 centimeter, right? So coming to question number 676 meters. The question is in meters. 28 meters they have given. So write it down, 176 meters. Coming to question number 7. In the given picture, DE is parallel to BC and you are given with ADE is 70 degree. So ADE here it is 70 degree and BAC is 50 degree. Then find the angle BCA, right? This is again simple. See here, the line that is drawn DE is parallel to BC. So if ADE is making 70, this is also 70, right? So angle B is also 70. If you consider this triangle ABC, total angle should be 180 degree here. So 70 and 50, if you can subtract that 120, you will get ACE is ACB will be 60 here, right? So for this you have to write these two are parallel lines, so that after finding out this angle is 70 degree you will get half mark. Then after finding out this angle you will get another half mark here, right? Coming to the either or question, another internal choice you are given with here. So in this question, AD is 2 centimeter here. Then BD is 3 centimeter. You are given with AE is 3.5 and AC totally it is 7 centimeter. So this will be again 3.5, right? So DE is parallel to BC. They are asking whether DE is parallel to BC or not, right? So by Thales theorem, you can prove this one. So as you can write it to compare these two triangles, that is triangle ADE and triangle ABC. AD by BD you can take. AD by BD is equal to 2 by 3. Similarity you can check. AE by EC, that will be 3.5 divided by 3.5, which is nothing but 1. Right. So as AD by BD is not equal to AE by EC, AD by BD is not equal to AE by EC. So DE is not parallel to EC, that BC, that you can write, right? So by converse of Thales theorem, DE is not parallel to BC here. This is question number 8 now. The cost of fencing a circular field at a rate of 25 rupees per meter is 5280. Then find the radius of the field. So here you are given with the rate per meter. Per meter it is costing 24 rupees for fencing, and the total fencing cost for the total circular field is 5280 rupees, right? So now total number of meters, or else you can write it as total fencing length, right? So total fence length is nothing but now total cost divided by per meter cost. So 5280 divided by 24. So this you will get 220 meter. Now you know this is total fence length. Fence is nothing but around the circular path. Around the circular path. So this is nothing but your perimeter. So that is nothing but 2 pi r. So you are asked to find out r. First I am finding out the perimeter from the given data. So after finding out the perimeter or the length of the fence, now let us find out the radius here. 220 divided by 2 into 22 by 7. That 7 I am writing it here. So this is 10 to 5 times. So this is 5 into 7. 35 meters, right? So 35 meters is the radius of the field here. So once you find out this 220 meters, the length perimeter, here you will get half mark, and after finding radius you will get half mark here. So this is the marking scheme for this question number 8. Now let us see question number 9. A tree breaks down due to storm and the broken part bends so that the top of the tree touches the ground, right, where it makes an angle of 30 degrees. The distance between the foot of the tree to the point where the top touches the ground is 8 meter. Find the height of the tree from where it is broken. So this is trigonometry question, right? Suppose say this is the full tree we have. Because of storm, the tree has broken down like this. It is touching the floor. The top is touching the floor and it is making an angle of 30 degrees. That is what they have given. And the distance between foot of the tree and the top of the tree where it touches the ground, that length you are given with 8, what is that? 8 meter. Then find height of the tree from where it is broken. Height of the tree from where it is broken means this part, right? This they are asking. Height of the tree from where it is broken, right? So this they are asking. So you know the angle and you know the adjacent side, and they're asking for the opposite side. So opposite, adjacent and angle, that is nothing but tan, right? So tan 30 degree is equal to opposite side AB divided by adjacent side BC. So tan 30 here is 1 by root 3 is equal to AB divided by BC, right? So we need AB. So AB is equal to, what is BC? 8. So AB is equal to 8 by root 3 meters. So this is the length of the tree. Now once you write down this, whether you draw the picture or not, picture is for your understanding purpose only. You won't get any mark for drawing the picture here. So once you write tan 30 is equal to that ratio, if you write, you will get half mark here. And writing the tan 30 value substitution, you will get another half mark. So this is the marking criteria for question number 9. The answer for question number 9 here is 8 by root 3 meter. Question number 10. If the perimeter and the area of the circle are numerically equal, then find the radius of the circle. This is simple. Once you know the formula of area of circle, that is nothing but pi r square is equal to perimeter of the circle, that is 2 pi r. Once you equate, then what is the radius value they are asking? Pi will get cancelled, r 1 r will get cancelled. So r is equal to 2 units is the answer for this. So for writing the formula, you will get a half mark, and answer you will get half mark. So the answer for 10th question is 2 units. Next, question number 11. write the empirical relationship between mean, median and mode. This is just simple formula. Directly you can write 3 times median is equal to mode plus 2 times mean, right? So straight away you will get 1 mark for this after writing this. Next, question number 12. To divide the line segment BC internally in the ratio to 3:5, we draw a ray BX such that angle CBX is an acute angle. What is the minimum number of points to be located at equal distances on ray BX? So this question is based on construction. See, I have added a picture here. So draw a line segment BC with some length and draw BX ray with some acute angle. Now divide the line segment into that 8 equal parts, right? So the minimum number of points here located with equal distances that you can draw is 8 points here. So this is again some construction based question. You can solve this 8. So 8 points you will get after drawing. So this is the drawing you will get. Next is question number 13. Again, you have some internal choice. Let us see the first question. For what values of P does the pair of equations 4x plus py plus 8 is equal to 0 and 2x plus 2y plus 2 is equal to 0 has unique solution? So for unique solution, the condition is a1 by a2 should not be equal to b1 by b2, right? So that you just substitute what is a1 and a2 here. You are getting here, this is a1, b1, c1 here. In this a2, b2, c2 here, right? So 4 by 2 should not be equal to, right? b1 is how much here? P divided by 2 here, right? So this will be 2 will get cancelled. So P should not be equal to 4. So if any other value other than P is equal to 4 makes the set of equations, the pair of equations has unique solution here. The second question in the 13th one, either or the internal option question is, what type of straight lines will be represented by the system of equations 2x plus 3y is equal to 5 and 4x plus 6y is equal to 7. So let us check the conditions. This is from pair of linear equations. So a1, just compare this 2x plus 3y is equal to 5, whatever the equation, a1x plus b1 plus c1 is equal to 0. So if you write here a1 is equal to 2, then b1 is equal to 3, I am getting b1 is equal to 3 and c1 is equal to minus 5 will get, because you have to write it in the standard form. If you write it, you will get 2x plus 3y minus 5 is equal to 0. And then the second equation 4x plus 6y minus 7 is equal to 0. Then a2 is equal to 4, b2 is equal to 6 and c2 is equal to minus 7 here. So the conditions we'll check. First find out the ratios. a1 by a2 is equal to 2 by 4. b1 by b2 is equal to 3 by 6 and c1 by c2 is equal to minus 5 by minus 7. So check it out, any cancellations. So this will get 1 by 2. This also you will get 1 by 2. This minus will get cancelled. So what I am getting condition, a1 by a2 is equal to b1 by b2 but not equal to c1 by c2. So for this condition you will get no solutions, right? So no solutions, but they are asking what type of lines you are getting. So for no solution, it will be a parallel line. So the two lines will be parallel, right? So now if you write the condition here, the formula condition, you will get half mark. This is C1 by C2. And calculating the ratios, you will get half mark. So write it down parallel, right? So this is the marking criteria for this question number 13. Coming to question number 14. So again, either or, these two questions are from probability only. So very easy. A bag contains 3 red balls and 5 black balls. A ball is drawn at random from the bag. What is the probability? So number of outcomes is 3 plus 5 is 8. They're asking for red, and for red are 3 balls. So directly you can write it as 3 by 8. Right? Next, the second part here is a die is thrown once. What is the probability of getting a prime number? So die, you have 6 faces here. So 1 to 6 numbers, write it down. So out of that, what are the prime numbers? 2, 3 and 5. So to get the prime numbers, the probability of getting the prime number is nothing but here 3 by 6. So that is nothing but 1 by 2. Question number 15. A tower stands vertically on the ground. From a point on the ground which is 15 meters away from the foot of the tower, the angle of elevation of the top of the tower is found to be 60 degree. Find the height of the tower. So this question is on heights and distances. For your better understanding, always I prefer you to draw the picture. So they're asking a tower is vertically on the ground, right? From the point on the ground, which is 15 meter away, somewhere 15 meter away, the angle of elevation on top of the tower is to the foot of the tower, it is 60 degree, right? So the angle of elevation of top of the tower is found to be 60 degree, right? So draw it. So this is 60 degree and this is h. So they're asking you to find out height of the tower again now. So tan 60, simple, that is nothing but h by 15. So tan 60 is root 3. So h is equal to 15 root 3 meter. So the answer for this question is 15 root 3. So once you write tan 60, this condition, you will get half mark, and finding the height, you will get half mark for this question. So question number 16, probability of an event E plus the probability of an event E bar, right, is how much? So this is 1. Directly you can write E plus E bar is 1 in probability. Question number 17. This is from section 2. You are given with the case study here. See, the mathematics teacher of a school took her 10th standard students to show Red Fort. It was a part of an educational trip. The teacher had interest in history as well. She narrated the facts of Red Fort to students. Then the teacher said, in this monument, one can find combination of solid figures. There are 2 pillars which are cylindrical in shape. Also, 2 domes at the corners which are hemispherical. 7 smaller domes at the center. Flag hoisting ceremony on Independence Day takes place near these domes. Now they are talking about all the solid figures. So this is, the questions will be now based on your surface areas and volumes. Let us see the first question. You are given with these multiple choices also. Directly you can select the answer here. So there is no marking criteria here, but just selecting the answer you will get the 1 mark here. No need to show your work here, calculation part. So we'll see how much cloth material will be required to cover 2 big domes, each of radius 2.5 meter. So this is nothing but based on surface area, right? So surface area, you can find out surface area of the hemisphere is 2 pi r square. So here there are 2 domes, so I am multiplying with the 2. 2 into 2 into 22 by 7 into radius of the hemisphere, you are given with 2.5. So I'll write it as 5 by 2 into 5 by 2. So this 2 will get cancelled. Now 10 to 20 divided by 7. So approximately you will get it as 78.57 meters square. So it is there in options, part B. Option B is the correct answer for this first question. Then part 2, write the formula to find out the volume of the cylinder. Right, so volume of the cylinder pi r square h. Check it out. It is in option A, pi r square h. Then part 3, Find the lateral surface area of two pillars if height of the pillar is 7 meter and radius of the base is 1.4 meter. Right. Lateral surface area is given by pi r 2 pi r h. Right. So they're asking for two pillars. Just multiply with 2. You're given with the data 2 into 22 by 7. Radius, base radius is 1.4. I'm writing 14 by 10 into height of the pillar is 7. So this will get cancelled. Just multiply. You'll get here 1, 2, 3, 2 divided by 10. So that is nothing but 123.2 area. So meter square you'll get. So that is here option B. Next, fourth question. How much is the volume of a hemisphere if the radius of the base is 3.5 meters? Right. So volume of the hemisphere is given nothing but, see, from here you can write volume of the hemisphere is 2 by 3 pi r cube. Right. So directly you can substitute 2 by 3 into 22 by 7. Radius you are given with 3.5. I am writing it as 7 by 2 whole cube. So if you solve this, you will get it as 89.83. So that will come to option D. Just do the multiplication. You will get 89.83 meter cube. The last subsection in the first case study here is, what is the ratio of sum of the volumes of two hemispheres of radius 1 centimeter each to the volume of the hemisphere of radius 2 centimeter. So here they are asking to find out the ratio of volume of hemisphere to volume of sphere. So you must know the formula. Volume of hemisphere is 2/3 pi r cube divided by volume of the sphere is 4/3 pi r cube. So two hemispheres. So I am multiplying with the 2. So radius are different here. So we will substitute first and check it out. 2 into 2 by 3 into pi into 1 cube divided by, for sphere it is 2 centimeter radius. So 4 by 3 into pi into 2 cube. So pi will get cancelled, 3 will get cancelled, 2 into 2 is nothing but 4, 4 will get cancelled. You will get it as 1 by 8. That is nothing but 1:8. Check it out in options. It is option B. Question number 18. The next case study here given as, Class X students of a secondary school in Krishnanagar have been allotted a rectangular plot of land for gardening activity. Saplings of gulmohar are planted on the boundary at an equal distances of 1 meter from each other. There is a triangular grassy lawn in the plot as shown in the figure. The students are to sow seeds of flowering plants on the remaining area of the plot. So this is the picture they have given. Consider A as the origin. See here, this is A here. Answer the questions from 1 to 5. So considering A is the origin, what are the coordinates of A? So if you are considering A as the origin, obviously A is nothing but 0, 0. Right? So if you are taking this as origin, this will be your x-axis, this is your y-axis. Like this I am considering. Now, second question is, what are the coordinates of P? See here it is P. X coordinate, you have 1, 2, 3, 4. And on the y, this is 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So point P is 4, 6. So this is option number A. Next is, what are the coordinates of R? So R here on the x-axis you have 6 and on y-axis just below P here, right? 1 unit just below P. So it will be 6, 5. So this again option A. Then what are the coordinates of D? So check it out. 1 to 10 they have marked. Then count 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 and 16. So 16 units on the x-axis. As the point is on the x-axis, y coordinate is 0. So this will be 16, 0. Again option A. Next question. What are the coordinates of P if D is taken as the origin? So if you are considering D as the origin, so let us mark D here as 0, 0. Then this will be your x-axis. This is your x-axis and this will be your y-axis. Then this side it will be negative x-axis, right? So now we have to find out the points for P, coordinates for point P, right? So if this is negative x-axis, that is towards your left hand side of D, then it will be -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, -7, -8, -9, -10, 11 and -12. So this point will be -12 for P. Anyhow, y coordinate will be same only because this is positive y axis only. So this is nothing but here we consider that P as anyhow 4, 6 no earlier. Now it will be -12, 6. So this is option B. So answer is -12, 6 for this one. Next is question number 19. The case study is like this. Rahul is studying in 10th standard. He is making a kite to fly it on a Sunday. Few questions came to his mind while making the kite. Give answers to the questions by looking at the figure. So you're given with the picture of kite. The first question is, Rahul tied the sticks at what angles to each other? So obviously directly from the figure we will notice here, we can notice here the sticks are kept at 90 degrees. So mark the answer 90 degrees, option C. Second question is, which is the correct similarity criteria applicable for smaller triangles at the upper part of the kite? So let us mark the kite sides as here A, B, C, D. I am marking the corners. So if you observe, the side AC is common for these two triangles, that is triangle ABC and triangle ACD, and also one angle, that is angle 90 degrees is common. So here if you observe side, angle and this side, angle and this side is the criteria of similarity here. So side, angle, side, SAS. Again here option B is the correct answer. Question number 3. Sides of two similar triangles are in the ratio 4:9. Then the corresponding medians of these triangles are in the ratio. So side 1 by side 2 is directly proportional to median 1 by median 2. So here if it is 4:9, then the ratio of medians is also equal to 4:9. So the corresponding medians are in the ratio 4:9 here, option B. 4:9 is option B here. Then question 4. In a triangle, if square of one side is equal to sum of the squares of the other two sides, then the angle opposite to the first side is a right angle. See, it is looking like our Pythagoras theorem only. So let us consider one triangle. So what does the Pythagoras theorem says? It has to start with, in a right angle triangle, the hypotenuse square is equal to side square plus side square. But here the statement is like this. If in a triangle the square of one side, that is suppose a AC square, is equal to the square of sum of squares of other two sides, AB square plus BC square, then the angle that is opposite to the first side is 90 degree. But according to Pythagoras theorem, the statement has to relate to a right angle triangle, right? Now you are going opposite to the statement. So that's why this is converse of Pythagoras theorem. Remember, this is not Pythagoras theorem. It's converse of Pythagoras theorem. You are giving the statement in the reverse way here. Next. Question number 5. What is the area of the kite formed by two perpendicular sticks of lengths 6 cm and 8 cm? So area of the kite is half into diagonal 1 into diagonal 2. here you are given with the perpendicular sticks of these lengths. They are given with 6 and 8. So you can find it out as 24 centimeters square. So the correct option is option C, 24 centimeters square for this question. Question number 20. This is the last question in section A. Due to heavy storm, an electric wire got bent as shown in the figure. It followed a mathematical shape, and answer the following questions below. So the first question is, name the shape in which the wire is bent. So obviously this is parabola. So select option D, parabola here. This is based on polynomials chapter. Second question is, how many zeros are there for the polynomial? So the curve where it touches the x-axis, they are the polynomial zeros here. So this polynomial curve is touching the x-axis at two places. One is at a -1 and another one is at 3. So you have two zeros here. So select the option A, which is 2. Next, third question is, the zeros of the polynomial are. So wherever the curve touches x-axis, they are the zeros here. So that is 3 here and -1. So -1 comma 3, option B. Fourth subsection here, what will be the expression of the polynomial? So the zeros of the polynomial are here x is equal to -1 and x is equal to 3. So the factors will be x plus 1 and x minus 3. So multiply these two factors, you will get the required polynomial. So that will be x square minus 3x plus x minus 3, which is nothing but x square minus 2x minus 3, right? So the correct answer is x square minus 2x minus 3, option C. The last subsection is, what is the value of polynomial if x is equal to -1? Check it out. X is equal to -1. It is touching the x-axis. So the value is 0 only here. Otherwise, if you have any doubt, you just substitute x is equal to -1 in this equation. -1 whole square minus 2 into -1 minus 3, right? So wherever x is there, you just put x is equal to -1. So this will be 1 minus of minus plus 2 minus 3. So this will be 3 minus 3, 0. Or else directly from the graph also you can say the polynomial value is 0 at x is equal to -1. Coming to part B, question number 21 here. All the questions from part B are 2-mark questions. So the first question in part B, that is question number 21, is like this. Find the coordinates of points which divides the line segment joining the points 4, -3 and 8, 5 in the ratio 3:1 internally. Right. So you are given with the 2 points. One is 4, -3 and the other one is 8, 5. So these 2 points are joined by a line segment. Now you have to find another point on this line such that it will divide the line into the ratio 3:1. So suppose say this is 3:1. The ratio be m1:n2. So the point here is given by some x, y. The formula is m1x2 plus m2x1 divided by m1 plus m2, comma m1y2 plus m2y1 divided by m1 plus m2, right? So this is the point. Now let us call this as x, y, and the points be x1, y1 and x2, y2. Very simple. Substitute here. m1 is 3 and m2 is 1. So 3 into x2 is 8 plus 1 into y1, x1 is 4 divided by m1 plus m2, 3 plus 1 is 4, comma. Next point is m1 is 3, y2 is 5 plus m2 is 1, y1 is -3 divided by 4 again. So this will be 24 plus 4. 28 divided by 4, that is 7, comma 15 minus 3, 12. 12 divided by 4, 3. So the point here is 7, comma 3. So here, if you write the formula, you will get 1 mark, and trying to substitute the values and finding the final answer, you will get another 1 mark. So whatever it may be the problem, try to write down the formula at least. Though you go mistaken with the calculation, you will get 1 mark for writing the formula itself. Don't forget to write down the formula. You are given with an internal choice in the question number 21. So the other question given here is, find a relationship between x and y such that the point x comma y is equidistant from the points 7 comma 1 and 3 comma 5. So again, this question is also from coordinate geometry. So check it out. You have one point 7 comma 1 and somewhere other point 3 comma 5. So you have a point P, so which is at equal distance from these 2 points. Suppose say this be Q and this be R. And let us say this comma something x2, y2. Okay. So the distance between PQ should be equal to PR, and we have to find out the relationship between this x2 and y2. Or else you can take it as x comma y. Anything is okay. So the distance formula here is square root of x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square. So to get the compatibility only with the formula, I am assuming here P as x2, y2. So now this PQ should be equal to PR. So when you are calculating PQ, assume this Q as x1 comma y1. So if you substitute this, you will get square root of, that is x2 minus x1 is 7 whole square plus y2 minus y1 is 1 whole square, that is equal to PR. Again x2, y2, this one you assume it as x1 comma y1 now. Now this will be square root of x2 minus 3 whole square plus y2 minus 5 whole square. So this root will get cancelled on both the sides. This is of the form now a minus b whole square. So let us expand. Now try to simplify this one. So this x2 square will get cancelled, y2 square will get cancelled. Try to bring everything to one side. So minus 14x2 plus 49 plus 1. So that will be plus 50 minus 2y2. This minus 6x2 will be plus 6x2 plus 9, that is minus 9 here. Minus 10x2 will be plus, minus 10y2 will be plus 10y2, and minus 25 is equal to 0. So x2 terms are here, that is minus 8x2, then 10y2, and this is minus 8y2. So 50 and minus 25, 25 minus 9, so 16 plus 16 is equal to 0. So this is nothing but x2 minus y2 is nothing but 16 by 8, that you can write it as 2. So the relationship between the points x comma y, that you can write it as x minus y is equal to 2. So this one you will get 1 mark for writing the formula, the distance formula, and half mark for writing that 2 points are equal, and then half mark for calculating your answer, final answer. So this is how the marking scheme is divided. Question number 22. Here you are given with a figure, and if LM is parallel to BC and LN is parallel to CD, they are asking you to prove AM by MB. AM by MB here is equal to AN divided by ND, this side, right? So from basic proportionality theorem from BPT, here you are given with these two are parallel and these two are parallel. From basic proportionality theorem, if you consider the triangles here ALM and ABC, you can write the ratio as AM divided by MB is equal to AL here, right? AL divided by LC. AL divided by LC. Similarly, if you consider in the lower section here, again applying BPT, you can write this as AN divided by ND is equal to AL divided by LC. So let us say this is equation 1 and equation 2. In both equation 1 and equation 2, we have the right hand side is equal. So you can equate the LHS also. So AM by MB is equal to AN by ND. That is what we have to prove. So for writing using BPT, the relation, here you will get half mark and one more half mark here. And equating and finding out the final answer, you will get 1 mark. So this is the marking criteria for question number 22. Coming to question number 23, a quadrilateral ABCD is drawn to circumscribe a circle. Prove that AB plus CD is equal to AD plus BC. So they're asking you to prove that the sum of the opposite sides are equal, right? So this is the figure they have given. If you observe this figure, from a point A, AD and AB are the two tangents they have drawn. Similarly, AS and AP are the two tangents they have drawn. So you can write length of the tangents drawn from external point are equal. Length of the tangents drawn from external points are equal. Drawn from external point are equal. So based on this statement here, I can write AS is equal to AP. Similarly, from point B, BP is equal to BQ. Also, C, from point C, CQ is equal to CR, and also DS is equal to DR. Right. So, if you add here AS plus BQ plus CQ plus DS. See here what and all I am adding? AS plus BQ plus CQ plus DS. That is AS plus DS plus BQ plus CQ. That is equal to AP plus BP plus CR plus DR. So what is this AS plus DS? AS plus DS is nothing but AD plus BQ plus CQ is nothing but BC is equal to AP and BP is AB plus CR plus DR is CD. So this is what they have asked us to prove. AD plus BC is equal to BC plus CD. And the marking scheme is you have to write down the statement. For that you will get 1 mark. And here after equating you will get half mark. Final answer you will get another half mark. Question number 24. Draw a line segment of length 7.8 centimeter and divide it in the ratio 5:8. Measure the two parts. So this is based on construction. So if you can construct, you will get the 2 marks straight away. Coming to 25, you have internal choice here. These two questions are based on trigonometry. So let us see. The first one they have given is given 15 cot A is equal to 8. Then find sin A and secant A. Right. So cot A, this first you have to draw the right angle triangle. So cot A they are telling. So let us call this as A, B, C here. So cot A means adjacent side divided by opposite side. So 15 cot A is equal to 8. So cot A is 8 by 15 here. So adjacent by opposite. So adjacent side is 8 and this will be 15. Now they are asking you to find out sin A and secant A. Sin A and secant A. So from the Pythagoras theorem, you have to find out the third side. But we know the combination here 8, 15, 17 is the Pythagoras triplet. So write it down 17. Then sin A is nothing but opposite side divided by hypotenuse. So better write down the formula. So this will be 15 divided by 17. Secant A is nothing but 1 by cos A. So cos A is adjacent by hypotenuse. So secant A will be hypotenuse divided by adjacent. So it will be 17 divided by 8. So this is the answer for this one. So the marking criteria is, if you can write down the Pythagoras triplet here, you will get 1 half mark here. Then here sin A, along with the formula you try to write it down. Here you will get half mark and half mark, 3 half marks, and then for picture you will get another half mark. So this is the marking criteria for 25th question, that first part. The second part here is find tan P minus cot R. So you are given with again a triangle. So 12 and 13. So the other side will be here 5. Now tan P you can write down. Tan P is nothing but, this is P. Angle P is this one. So opposite divided by adjacent. So this will be 5 by 12. Then cot R. Observe the angle is different. Here it is P and this is R. For cot R, this will be adjacent divided by the reverse, right? So tan P is nothing but opposite divided by adjacent, whereas cot is adjacent of R divided by opposite. So that will be 5 by 12. So they are asking you to find out tan P minus cot R. So 5 by 12 minus 5 by 12, that is equal to 0. So here you will get, for tan P, finding tan P you will get half mark. For cot R you will get one more half mark. Substituting and getting the final answer, you will get 1 mark. So this is the marking criteria for question number 25. Question number 26. This is the last question in part A. How many terms of the AP 9, 17, 25 so on must be taken to give a sum of 636? So this question is based on arithmetic progression. So you are given with Sn. Sn is equal to 636 you are given with. So the formula is n by 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 into d. Here a is the first term, that is equal to in the AP. So the AP given is 9, 17 and 25. So on. So a is equal to 9 and d is the difference. 17 minus 9 you take it as 8. N we have to find out. So just substitute. 636 is equal to n by 2 into 2 into a, that is 18, plus n minus 1. N minus 1 into d. D is here 8. So that you write 8n minus 8. So this 2 you take it to the other side. This you will get it as 1272 is equal to 18n plus 8n square minus 8n. So this will be 8n square plus 18n minus 8n. So that will be plus 10n. And this comes to the other side, it will be minus 1272 is equal to 0. From here you got a quadratic equation. Now we have to solve this quadratic equation to get the value of n. So the number is very big. So I am using the formula to find out n, minus b plus or minus square root b square minus 4ac divided by 2a. So let us try to solve here. If you compare the given equation with the standard form ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. Here one thing we can do, here I can simplify this taking 2 as common. So 4n square plus 5n minus 636 is equal to 0. So now substitute minus 5 plus or minus square root of 5 square is 25 minus 4 into a is 4 into C is 636 minus, so that will become plus here, divided by 2 into A is 4. So try to simplify. This will be minus 5 plus or minus. So if you can solve this one, this will be giving you 101. So divided by 8 here. So this will be 96 by 8 or minus 106 divided by 8. 8 means this is 12 here. So n is equal to 12 or minus 106 by 8. This is 4 times and 53. Minus 53 by 4. So the number cannot be a negative number or a fraction here. So n is equal to 12 is the answer. So if you can write down the formula for Sn, here you will get half mark. Then substituting, after finding the value of A, D, then substitution everything, you will get another half mark. Finding the number n, you will get 1 mark. So this is the marking criteria for question number 26. For more videos, please do like, share, subscribe to our channel. Let us know your suggestions and queries in the comment box. Thank you.